Avatar: Fire and Ash, of course, is a movie that came out recently to some. Well, it's Avatar, so what do you expect? A lot of good reviews. Now, of course, um, I'm late and early at the same time. I watched Avatar the Monday of the week it was supposed to release, so like 4 days early. So you may be wondering why you releasing it like 4 days later. No excuse, I'm just lazy. But besides that, I watched an early screening of it and it was in 3D. You may be wondering, why are you saying that? Simple, because I had to go, use the restroom like anyone would. I walked away. My 3D glasses fell in between two seats, so half the movie was a blurry mess to me. So please take my review with a grain of salt. If you want me to rewatch it and then make another review, let me know. But this is the blurry version, I guess. But besides that, of course, Avatar 3 is the third movie in the franchise. Of course, more yet to come. But besides that, the reviews are in 91% by Fandango, 7.5 out of 10 by IMDb. Around in Tomatoes, they seem to be a bit of, bit different. 66% by the hating ass critics and a 91% by the people, obviously. Here's the thing. Here's for me, when I first watched the movie, I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was the best. But rewatching some clips and, kind of figuring out why I liked it and why I didn't like it, I come to the conclusion that the movie overall is a really great movie. Obviously, it's an Avatar film. So, the score, the overall visual, cinematography, although it's all CGI, is amazing. Top tier, some of the best of the year. But, of course, what's the wrong thing? What don't I like about Avatar? Now, here's two things. The main one is Spider is absolutely fucking terrible in this movie. Holy shit, sucks in this movie. I hate hating on him because, I don't know how old he is, but dude, his acting is actually atrocious, man. I hate to be that guy, but he's 21. All right, he's a grown ass man, all right. But his acting is bad, and he really brings down a lot of scenes and overall a lot of things that would otherwise make this one of the best movies of the year. Now, of course, the essential plot is, of course, obviously Colonel Quaritch is yet again trying to hunt down Jake and his family. Mostly because at the end of the day, it's personal to him, right? By the way, spoilers if I didn't already say that. But in the movie, he straight up explains it. Like people in this movie can tell that Quaritch is going through a very similar, path as Jake in the movie, right? Because Jake is obviously, was sent to colonize Pandora, then later on married Neytiri and betrayed the human race. Now, of course, Quaritch, once again, is set to do that too. Well, of course, he was also set to do that in the first one, but he was also fell in love with I forgot their name. Navi woman, obviously, the witch of the Ash people, obviously his kind of gal. But you start to see a lot of changes within Quaritch. And of course, I already went on a huge tangent, but besides that, the plot is they're hunting down Jake. They meet the Ash people, which are seen as these primitive type of people compared to the other Navi people. The hunting of the whales still go on. Obviously, they still want Jake's head. But the main thing that changes, of course, is the Ash people and Quaritch's, path towards a different type of life, I guess you could say. That Spider, obviously, in the trailer, is able to breathe Pandora's air without a mask. Well, obviously, he couldn't breathe the air with the mask. I actually don't know how that works, right? But besides that, he could breathe without the mask. Now, obviously, that's a very bad news for everyone except Spider. Spider, obviously, gets the good news that, hey, I don't get to die. Bad news is now the humans know, hey, there's a way to breathe Pandora's air without, a mask. And obviously that opens up a huge possibility in terms of colonization for the sole fact that if all 22 billion people can come to Pandora all at once, the Na'vi are screwed. They can't do anything about that. No, they're done. It's over. They're finished, bro. But besides that, the great things in the movie is the Ash people. I really love the Ash people. They're so cool in this movie. Their leader is cool too. I forgot her name. Varang is absolutely amazing in this movie. her relationship with Quaritch, once again, a very good one. Very freaky, but then again, who else would be Quaritch's girl, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's very good, right? But besides that, the other bad thing is you kind of, once you start seeing more and more Avatar movies, the more you see, like, the tropes, I guess you could say. For the one is the fact that Jake Sully keeps getting his ass whooped by Quaritch, always. Whenever it's a one-on-one or something, or they're fighting against each other, Quaritch always comes out on top, unless Jake gets help from, like, the god of Pandora, right? Or some random whale. But for the most part, he gets his ass whooped. It's the same thing. They fight, huge battle. Jake gets his ass whooped. Him and Quaritch end up having a one-on-one. Jake somehow ends up on top. Quaritch runs away. You get the point, right? Now, of course, there's also other things that they're exploring, like Kiri and how she's basically a clone of her mother, I think it is, and how she's like specially connected to the god of Pandora. I once again forgot her name. My bad. But yeah, how she's able to first of all make Spider be able to breathe Pandora's air, which is like, hey, that's cool. But yeah, no, the action scenes are absolutely amazing, dude. I hated Spider. Every single time he appeared on screen, dude, I got pissed. And it ruined almost every scene that he was in, and I hated that. And, of course, when hindsight's 2020, that's not a mentality I should have. Don't get me wrong, Spider's acting is still bad. But you should not let it distract you from how great a scene is, right? Like, but he does ruin some scenes. Like, where there's Jake, obviously he has to come to a realization that they're always going to get hunted by Quaritch. Quaritch, it's always been personal to him, right? But now that Spider can breathe the air of Pandora, now all of human civilization are after him too, because now it benefits them. And he comes to the realization, hey, what if we just kill Spider? You know, they can't use him for their experiments if we kill him, right? And then there's a super sad scene, which would have been better if Spider could act, right? But what are you going to do? And people are like, why are you hating so much? I bet you couldn't do any better. Obviously not. I have no acting experience, but you get the point. Another thing is how Quaritch's motives are explained in the movie, because Jake, well, obviously went against the man, and then Jake's like, oh man, look at you dancing for the man, or something like that, basically telling him, what are you, just following orders and stuff? And Quaritch straight up tells him to his face, I could care less about the man, you know? It was always about you and me, because to him, if Jake never defied orders, his men and women would still be alive. He would still be alive. But since he disobeyed, it got him and many of his men and women killed. And not only that, he also took his son, so that's obviously another thing, right? And that's a mentality that they both share, Jake and Quaritch, to the fact that you do not disobey your orders from, you know, the top dog, right? That either being Jake or Quaritch, right? You do not disobey orders. And also the return of the super flying beast, I forgot the name, but the giant beast from the first movie, who was seen as this mythical monster that everyone already knows existed, right? That's not the point. The point is, a Na'vi has never really rode one of those things in a long time. Only 5 ever were witnessed riding it. Jake ends up riding in the first movie. That's how he gains the trust of the Na'vi. He does it again in this movie, where he brings him back to show all the tribes, hey guys, let's all fight this together, because he is seen as the guy now, right? When you ride one of them, you're the guy. People are going to listen to you no matter what, for the most part. Even these other mythical creatures like the elder whales, you listen to them too, right? But besides that, let's read some reviews. Let's read some critic reviews first, since it seems like critics seem to not like the movie. Here's this one. Brian Viner from the UK. Daily Mail. Cameron overdoes it. The narrative becomes trugid and repetitive. Now here's the thing. That's actually something I did not make into the movie. It's not what I said in the review. I did say a lot of things, right? But actually, unfortunately, yeah, in this movie, you actually do feel the 3 hours. I don't know if I uploaded it, but if you watch my Avatar Way of Water review, I tell you, like, I think constantly, you don't feel the 3 hours in that movie. This one, unfortunately, you do. Spider does not make it any easier on the time. But yeah, you unfortunately do feel it. But the action scenes, it's not too bad. You feel it, but it's not like, I'm gonna die, right? You know, yeah, it's not that bad, right? But you still feel it. what seems to be a common theme towards the again for the first of all, Daily Mail is straight up haters, but common theme for the critics is the runtime. Which, don't get me wrong, 3 hours and 15 minutes is a lot. But here it is. From the lovingly crafted close-ups of alien faces in photorealistic blood, sweat, and tears to the nature documentary-style detours across Pandora, Fire, and Ash almost justifies its arrogant runtime. Once again, very common theme. They do not like the runtime. Literally, all of them are talking about the runtime. Here's this one, which isn't. I don't think it mentions it, but everything mentions it. Like almost all of them, they're like, oh man, all these new elements, which are cool and all, but it's 3 hours, dog. You know, and don't get me wrong, not every Avatar movie needs to be 3 hours. Like, sir, you can make it 2 hours and a half. We're not gonna hate you for that. Avatar: Fire and Ash will not bore you. There are too many propulsive sequences designed to keep you moving forward. It may not make you. It may not make you think deeply, but perhaps that too is by design. Hold on, what was it? La Picasso Migria Sandoval? Whoa, slow down, whoa. There's actually another theme in the movie, and that is Colonel Quaritch. Of course, Quaritch is the avatar of the late Quaritch in the movie, but the common thing that they say to him is that he's his own person. Literally, a quote in the movie is, he's nothing more than a dead man's memory. And it gets to Quaritch. Quaritch actually hesitates when he talks back. He starts thinking differently throughout the movie. He can be his own person, because throughout the movie, he starts becoming more and more intertwined with the culture of the Ash people. He starts wearing their like war paint on himself. He starts sleeping with Varang, obviously. But the whole thing is that Quaritch is not him. It's not really Quaritch. It's just an avatar body with his memories. That's not the real Quaritch. Quaritch is dead. They keep telling him that. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. This is not Quaritch, right? You could be your own person. And I like that. Because I assume he did not die, because it'd be pretty bad if he dies, right? But anyways, here's another review by TJ. He did not like the movie 2 out of 5 stars, which, hey, once again, the runtime, people do not like it. But hey, what are you going to do? It was way too long. Plot went in different directions, some of which I didn't understand. Duh, you're supposed to listen to the movie, babe. They need to keep it simple. Why complicate things? And finally, nothing new. Boo! Boo! This man did not watch the movie. Boo! They're relying of people to be stupid enough to just accept that the entire movie is great because it had a lot of great movements, and keep those with ADHD satisfied. All right, first of all, whoa. You could not like the film. Do not disrespect the viewers, though. What the hell? He's out here shooting on everyone. Whoa, hey, chill, man. But for those of us who go to see a movie for its plot, you will be disappointed. It's just 3 hours of constant fighting. The same as the last one. I bet they will do the same thing again. And people with simple minds will say it's great. Oh, brother. This guy thinks that because of what he was the clapboard thing as his profile picture means he knows something? 91% for a reason, dog. You don't just get that by just doing the same thing over and over again. Bum. Anyway, let's get one that likes it. Alright, let's see this one. Fernando. See, he has the Fandango profile picture. See, that's how you know he's a real critic right here. But yeah, runtime, too long. They could have cut a lot of stuff out. Usually, it has to be the best movie. Oh, no, visually, it has to be the best movie I have ever seen alongside Avatar: The Way of Water. Once again, that's always a common theme with these movies. Definitely worth a watch just for the visuals. My only complaint was that the plot felt a mix of the first part and the second part. I got deja vu during the movie, feeling like I have seen this before. Other than that, the movie was a great experience. Once again, not wrong. Like I said, if you keep watching these movies, you see a lot of the common tropes, and it's the same thing. And here's the thing. I like this movie. I really do. I really like Quaritch's, character development throughout the second and third movie. But if they don't change anything in the next one, I'm not going to say he's going to die, because there's always going to be a huge fan base for it, even though they're not that outspoken. But they're going to need to change it up in the next movie. I don't know how. I don't know what they can do differently, but they got to change it up. But besides that, otherwise, it's a very good movie. Great. You feel the runtime sometimes. No thanks to Spider. But visually great. The action scenes are amazing. The Ash people are the best part of the movie. And otherwise, is this a must watch? Unfortunately, I think I like the second one a lot more than not a lot more. I like the second one more than the third one. But this one, I wouldn't, I wouldn't say go out and buy the full price ticket. I would just say go on a discount Tuesday. If you can, if you can't, full price isn't bad either. But besides that, hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope to catch you in the next one.